I think just break the fasted and silently.
Definitely follow the rule. Building trust, that means when you get small stuff done and you being consistent with it. I try to build my coaching sections a safe zone for my students where they can share their struggle and what problem they are having while learning English. And I stay consistent with my feedback, I keep my promise, and that would help the students know that I've got their back.
In my daily work as a business analyst, building trust starts with clarity, consistency, and reducing uncertainty for everyone, even when it may require extra effort. When stakeholders see that you're careful with details and honest about unknowns, they start relying on your works. For example, when gathering requirements, I never assume I fully understand after one discussion. I always document, send back for confirmation, and highlight any ambiguity. It may take more time upfront, but it prevents misunderstanding later.
Yes, especially when I give feedback. Sometimes I have to say, you're doing good, but there's a little thing that holding you back. And I try to be polite, I try to keep it simple, and I always give them 1 or 2 fixes so we can practice right away.
Yes, in one project, the client requested a new feature that looked attractive on the surface. But during analysis, I realized that it requires complex data restructuring, significant development effort, but only delivering limited real business value. It would have been easier to just accept and move forward. But I prepared a comparison regarding the estimation effort, potential risks, and management impacts, and presented it all clearly to the client. At first, the discussion was uncomfortable because it challenged the initial idea. However, after reviewing the gap, client decided to postpone the feature and prioritize something with higher impact. Thus, I think silence can protect the comfort, but speaking up protects the credibility.
Yes, I do have a few non-negotiables that will affect my learners' growth. I always have to be consistent with my feedback and our goal. I also stick to my safe rules that mistakes are normal, effort is respected, and everyone gets a fair chance to speak. And that is when progress actually happens.
As a VA, I always ensure these 3 rules. First, never assume understanding, always validate assumptions. In requirement discussion, it's easy to think, yeah, I understand what client means, but the assumption is one of the biggest hidden risks in project. I always document, send back for confirmation, and clarify edge cases before moving forward. Second, no undocumented scope changes. Even small changes like a wording adjustment or a minor field addition must be recorded and agreed upon. I've seen many projects where small tweaks accumulated quietly and later cause scope creep and conflict. Documenting changes will protect both the client and the delivery team. Third, never confirm feasibility without consulting the technical team. As a VA, it's easy to say, yes, that sounds possible. But feasibility is not about assumptions, it's about technical validations. I always align with developers before committing to effort and solution direction. This avoids over-promising and protects the team from unrealistic expectations. I think regulation ensures fairness by applying the same criteria to everyone. For example, when prioritizing the backlog item, we evaluate based on the business impact, user value, and effort, not based on who requested it. that prevents bias. Regulation also ensure consistency by standardizing how decisions are made. When the same estimation method and approval process are used across projects, the outcomes can be predictable and aligned. Fairness is equal standard. Consistency means applying those standards every time.
Regulations are the rule of the game for everyone, so decisions aren't based on mood or flavorism. They set clear expectations, how we participate, how feedback works, and how progress is measured. And that can help everybody receive the same support, the same standard, and a more trusting learning environment. For me, integrity isn't just being perfect, it's when you take responsibility. If I make a mistake, if my instructions are unclear to my students, I own it. I make adjustment and try to be better next time. Learners will trust me more when I'm being honest to them, not pretend to be perfect.
I gravitate towards taking responsibility. In complex projects, mistakes are unavoidable. What matters is how you respond to it. I used to underestimate the complexity of a reporting module, where development reviews additional edge cases. Instead of defending my initial estimate, I reviewed the gap, updated with stakeholders transparently, and adjust the plan with the team. Taking responsibility means not hiding behind excuses, not shifting blame, and focusing on solutions. I think trust is not built because you never fail. It's built because people know you will stand up when things go wrong.
You discover a team member that has taken action that violates regulations. Reporting it may impact the team's timeline and reputation. What will you do?
A. Ignore it because there's no immediate impact.
B. Report it through proper process with transparency and propose corrective actions.
C. Address it privately within the team without making an official report. I wish you best luck to win the prize.